Welcome back to the Daughters of the Moon podcast. We're grateful that you can join us for another week.
We certainly are.
And we have a very special guest with us today. We have Granddaughter Crow. She holds a doctorate in leadership, internationally recognized as a medicine woman. She comes from a long line of spiritual leaders as the member of the Navajo Nation. She is an international award-winning author. Her books include The Journey of the Soul, Wisdom of the Natural World, and Belief, Being, and Beyond. Additionally, she is a member of the Delta Mu Delta Honor International Society in Business due to her academic achievements, voted in Women of the Year 2015 by the National Association of Professional Women. She is truly a conduit for wisdom and transformation between the Western and Native worlds. More than that, she has dedicated her life to inspiring, encouraging, and empowering individuals to be their authenticity. So welcome. We're really excited for you to join us. And I got your book. So I've been reading that. So
I love it. So traditionally in the Navajo way, I will say Ya'at hello, I am Granddaughter Crow. I'm born to the Billigana clan. I'm born to the Billigana clan for the Taachini clan. So I'm a member of the Navajo Nation and a proud representation of a female red body, in 2024. And, it's been a long road because females have not always been, honored, and neither has the red body. I like to say I was a red body before it was popular, and now like all of a sudden I'm cool and I didn't do anything different. So I'm just really glad that society is turning around and really give a lot of honor and grace to the bloodlines that I come from.
yes, that's wonderful. Well, our ancestry is Ojibwa, so yes.
Yeah. And we're from Georgina Islands, but we originally came from Oklahoma area. So it was really interesting we haven't got our band number because my grandmother was our Kimmy's grandma too, great grandma was adopted, and she couldn't get that anyway. But it's beautiful to meet you, and it's nice to be able we can share in that too. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good circle.
Yeah, it is a wonderful circle. And I think it's great because we can, discuss that and talk about how, the earth and all of this wisdom that you have gained and, from your ancestry as well as now, and you can share that with people. And so we're super excited about that.
I'm super excited to be here with all of you, and hi, listeners. Blessings.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, and we read your bio, but just, how you kind of got to where you're going, what you do and those kind of things?
Absolutely. So bios can be really stuffy because they are, the left hemisphere centric. This is what I did. This is what I've accomplished. But really, who am I? I am a curious little girl that loves to learn no matter what my age. I think that curiosity is a gift that the Creator puts inside of us in order to lead you to your destination. My curiosities are different. So, the first thing I'd love to say to your listeners is be curious. It did not kill the cat. Curiosity did not kill the cat. The actual reference is curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. So be curious enough to sate your curiosity, whether that be in the moon, or whether that be in animals, or Reiki, or the tarot, or books, or whatever. Be curious, because being curious led me to my authenticity. And at my age, I'm really excited to give myself permission to be who and what I truly am, because at times in life it's almost like somebody else is driving the bus and you've got to get on the bus or get off the bus and you've got to be what they want. You've got to show up how they like it. You got to say their rhetoric. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I think I'm going to go jump this bus. I'm going to go get a car and I'm going to drive my own life. And that is scary, but that is what I'm here to encourage and empower people to do through the gift of curiosity. So, yes, my name is Granddaughter Crow. Yes, I I'm an author. Funniest thing though, Kim and Barb, if I were to go back in time and talk to my 17-year-old self and told her, hey, by the way, you're going to be an author, she would die laughing. She'd be like, I am struggling with English. I don't know punctuation nor how to spell. So what are you talking about? And so don't let your, to the listeners, don't let your past story hold you back from your future success.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I can relate because I was a fairly shy girl, especially not necessarily with my immediate friends, but out in social situations. And if I could go back and tell my 17-year-old self, you're going to be hosting a podcast with your mom and interviewing all these people, I'd have been like, what you
Right.
lady? Right? Because that was so far out of my grasp of what I could. And yet here we are. So I agree with you to try these things and, see where you can go with stuff that is a little bit outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely. 100.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree. Never hold yourself back at anything in this life. Particularly, we talking about women and about women in the past. Like they didn't push themselves enough to see what there is beyond just what's in front of them. Nowadays, it's so nice that women see that and they're reacting to it and working with it. And so, yes, I really like that you brought that up.
Yeah. Good wisdom too, Barb, because I think a lot of women in the past, it wasn't that they weren't curious. It wasn't that they weren't smart, and it wasn't that they weren't brave.
That's right.
Society was just not ready for the powerful daughters of the moon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because you could see it. And you did have some of these women that did, you know, get out there and do these things. So there was proof that it could. And they were creating all these, their homes and things like that, but it just wasn't recognized, right? It was pushed down of where they were in society as a level, right?
Right, right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Women are just really accomplishing a lot, and to see you've written your own book too, that's beautiful. I haven't read the book, of course. Can you give me an idea what the book's about?
Yeah. So are you talking about Wisdom of the Natural World, the one I self-published? Because I have 3 different ones. So I'm going to go with the first one that I self-published.
Okay.
It's a really quick read, The Journey of the Soul, The Path of a Medicine Person by Granddaughter Crow. It's interesting how life, spirit, the divine as it reveals itself to you, allows your path to open. I wasn't considering being an author. I was invited to, it was the North Central Healing Touch in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I live in Colorado. And they asked me to be a speaker. And so I'm like, whoa, that's really cool. Because the Healing Touch Society is a collection of individuals who are actually in the medical field, but they add additional modalities, more energetic modalities, Reiki, the chakra system, etc., to enhance their medical careers, thinking outside the box. So the Healing Touch is something that's really, I know it's across the US. I hope it's up in Canada. But at the end of the day, they have online teachings and such. And so I was just really like, wow, what do they want? me for? And they're like, well, shamanism. I'm like, okay, I would love to. So I was honored, but I started looking at their website and the past keynote speakers that they had. And I'm like, okay, well, I have those credentials, but I don't have a book. Everybody else has a book. Should I write a book? And so I was like, it took me more time to figure out how to self-publish a book than it did to actually write the book. And the content in the book was just basic on what I was going to say to the audience. And I figured out, and you guys too, if you've got a book within you, you can publish them on Amazon and Kindle and just learn how to do that. You don't have to wait to be discovered or anything. So I wrote The Journey of the Soul, the Path of the Medicine Person, and it's kind of speaks really deeply to me because I talk about we earn the medicine that we carry. We earn the wisdom, we earn the gratitude, we earn the love that we give, we earn the humility that we have, we earn the healing power that we have. And we usually, yes, we can earn these through, going and getting your degree and whatever medicine, but in truth, life says, well, I'm going to teach you how to be a better person or to be your greatness. And you're like, okay, life, this sounds great. Sign me up. And it says, okay, the School of Hard Knocks. I'm going to take you through the dark night of the soul. I'm going to show you how to work with your shadow. I'm going to teach you how to journey and travel and actually empower yourself instead of a shame spiral. I went through this. I was in poverty. I literally lived out of my car when I was 17. All of these things. I lost my way. Da 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 da. I had these medical things. All of these hard things that we like to sweep under the proverbial rug with the witch broom. The witch broom actually brings those out, right? The witch broom actually brings those out and says, no, this is where you earned your medicine. I'm very conscious about connectivity and gathering because I have been ostracized. I'm very conscious about inclusion. I'm very conscious about sensitivities, social sensitivities because of my life story. So this book is really about, taking those medicines and living it. And it's a lot more. It's a really quick read. It's only like 16,500 words, which basically is, it's not that hard, but you can get this one on Amazon. And at that conference, Llewellyn Worldwide Publishing Company was sitting in the audience. Happenstance?
Wow.
And out came Wisdom of the Natural World, Wisdom of the Natural World. Yeah, the one that Kimmy has right there. And it is Spiritual and Practical Teachings from Plants, Animals, and Mother Earths by Granddaughter Crow, published by Llewellyn Worldwide. And so what I'm saying is, I was really excited because I had an invitation, but you know what I did with that invitation? I accepted it. I said yes. And then the next thing that happened was I started researching and I started going, well, maybe I should do this. Maybe. Yes. I said yes. And then I went to the conference and it led me further along down my path. So yeah, it's been a beautiful road and I'm continuing to write and everything.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important that we say yes. I read this book this one time. It was Shonda Rhimes wrote it, and it was called The Year of Yes. And it was really cool because it is about exactly that, is accepting these invitations to get out and do things, to find yourself and to not hold yourself back. And, for you, like that's a great example of, okay, I'm going to self-publish this book. And now, oh, they're sitting in the audience and, life has that journey for you when you accept those invitations. And I think too often we say no when we shouldn't.
That is the truth. That's so true.
So I myself am trying to learn to say yes a little bit more to different things, especially if it's a little bit out of my comfort zone, because I think that helps us grow as people as well.
Absolutely believe so, because and I'd like to take a second and bounce this question back to you two to see what you think. Why do we say no? And is there a link between us saying no and us seeing ourselves as less than and less lovable and less empowered? Do we say no because we don't think that we're good enough? Do we say no because we went through the dark night of the soul and we're still in the shame spiral? Is that why we sometimes say no? I mean, I don't know. What do you guys? I'd love to hear your wisdom on that, because it's hard to say yes, but then I like to examine, well, then why do we say no? And sometimes I think that it's because we are unworthy, unlovable, not good enough. What do you guys think about that?
Mom?
I agree. I agree. I agree that we think that we're not worthy and that we're not enough. So if we're not enough, then what we do is we run on fear. And so when something comes up to us and we just aren't sure, even though inside we know we got it, but that little spark comes up there and says, well, so the hesitation comes in, the fear sets in, and then we don't say yes, we say maybe. Because the maybe sits us on the fence and makes us think that maybe down the road we might have enough courage to do that. But luckily enough, a lot of us are recognizing that courage later and getting back on that horse and riding it to where we are today. So yeah, I think a lot of it's just for just don't think we're enough to do that. What about you, Kim?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. I think it's just comes from a place of fear for sure. And I think it is exactly that. We don't feel worthy enough. We don't feel like we are enough. We don't feel like we're whatever maybe we've heard in our life about ourselves, which is not even truth, but that doesn't matter. We've heard it and that's ingrained in us somewhere. And, it's really interesting because sometimes I'll say to my granddaughter when we're done a podcast, I'll be like, oh, that guest was so exciting. I can't believe they, want to talk to us. Or, you've been on a somebody invites you to be on their podcast and you're like, oh my gosh, and I'm like, why me? And she goes, why not you? And
Yes.
so that was a really good thing. And she actually put a sticky in my bathroom one day saying, why wouldn't they? And I was like, that is a great sticky.
Yes, it is.
Love that. I love that. And I think that, sometimes I like to bring to the attention of the listeners that, you know, we struggle as, you know, podcasters, or we run into our own, what I call the watcher at the gate. When you start to expand beyond your normal capacity, there is something that says, why you? Why do you deserve this? You have to pass that watcher and go, why not me? Boom. Now you're in this land and you're like, oh, okay, I'm bigger, but I'm nervous. And that we all go through that. So I love talking to the listeners. And if you are in a place where you're trying to contemplate, am I allowed to be curious? Yes. And if you are in a place where you're just like, oh, like Barb said, my internal voice says yes, but, or, everybody loves Kim. And yet she's like, oh my God, we all feel that way. Don't let that hold you back.
Yeah, I think that's a great message and I think it's good for people to hear too, because when they start to hear people that are on podcasts and are sort of in the eye of the media, so to speak, it's like everybody feels these ways, right? So it's good that we're getting that message out because people can say, oh, they're real people too, right? They're not just these, you know, superstars and authors and podcasters and, they have that insecurity as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's, you know, I have this theory that we need to, if we can uplift the next shooting star, and if I can be a part of them, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think though, like with when you're helping people reach their stardom, that you're helping yourself as well into your next level and your next opening?
Sure, I think that it is a symbiotic relationship. I think that it's actually, speaking of symbiotic relationships, I think that what you said was exactly how the natural world works. I see that the flower attracts the bee, and the bee goes to the stardom and makes the pollen and goes to makes its honey, and then the flower spreads. And yes, it is a symbiotic relationship. And you know, I think that the beauty around that is that we are a part of, and there's an old message, especially to the female bodies, that says, oh, I'm not supposed, I'm supposed to make you look good. I'm supposed to make my kids look good because I am this or I am that, but I'm not allowed to take any credit because that, you know. And it's just like, no, take your part in that natural, organic, natural world system. Rejoice that the rain came down. It grew the trees. And so we do our rain dance and we glorify the rain and we call it in. And we also love our trees. Be a part of that organic, natural world. You have your place in the sun or the moon, but you have your place. And some of the most beautiful wisdom is that, you know, your place is not under a rock. Your place is not hidden. Your place is just as important as everything else in the natural world. One of the things that I'd like to say about wisdom of the natural world is this: the human race is the only organism on the face of this earth that I have found that has these quote unquote statements. I'm not enough. I'm unlovable. Did I deserve that? Am I worthy? Fill in the blank, fill in the blank, fill in the blank. The last time I looked at my cat and said, do you have these feelings of being unworthy?
Yeah.
She doesn't. I go outside and I look at a tree and I'm like, well, don't you think you're just a little too tall? No. If you're a tree, be a tree. If you're a cat, be a cat. If you're a flower, be a flower. But don't judge yourself against the tree or the cat. Be who you are authentically and feel the love that you have. So, long answer, Kim, it's yes, I do believe that as I lift people up, I too grow. This is the natural world that is organic, and I'm not going to stop that process, you know?
No. And we shouldn't, right? And I love that because when and it's funny because we call ourselves daughters of the moon, and as much as I love the moon, I also really love the sun and have appreciation and gratitude for that, right? Like I love being out in the sun. I love, going out in the morning and looking at the sun and kind of doing the morning gazing of it. Like I have that duality within me and can, have and hold space for the gratitude for both of those things, both the dark and the light. And I think that's important that we, find that gratitude in the things that surround us like that.
I love it. I love it. You know, that's interesting because in truth, the the moon's glow is based on the sun's light. you know, and the way that it rotates around. So that is a symbiotic relationship. And, you know, and I'll just kind of drill it home a little bit to go, sometimes the hardest times that you ever have contain the most wisdom, contain the most, I mean, go ahead and move through the energy or whatever it is that you're going through, but don't forget to extract the wisdom, because diamonds are made under pressure. And don't
Really.
deny, yeah, don't deny the, you know, yourself or anything. Don't deny the sun, don't deny the moon. It is all organic. It is no longer gracious to be, it's no longer acceptable in my world to be like, oh no, I didn't do anything when you just slaved away in the kitchen. Go ahead and say thank you, you know?
Absolutely. Yes, we need to accept what we can do. And that's going to further us, because we don't know when we take that first step in this world, where we're going to be traveling down the road. You know, it's all speculation and guessing. And when we could follow our true, authentic self, then we can show others how to be their authentic self too, to appreciate what's in front of them, what they have, and what their worth really is, so they can just escalate and be what they want to be, you know? Yeah.
100%. I love what you just said, because I'm not one of the ways. Okay, so, you know, I would say that my my mission is just what Kim read, you know, that I am here to inspire, to encourage, and to empower you to be your authenticity. But the only way that I can do that is not through my words, it's not through my books, it's not through anything else that I do, it's through who I actually am. You will know if I'm not being authentic, and you will know that I am authentic because it will inspire something in you going, well, hell, she can do it. You know,
Yeah.
let me get my pigtails out and let me get my hat on and let me go represent. Let me feel like me for a day. And, you know, I think that that's really beautiful. I think that the first step in self-empowerment and self thing, you know, we talked about saying yes, we talked about, you know, curiosity, but I would say baby steps for the listeners as you're listening, wherever you are on your path. It doesn't matter if you're 50 years in the working or 10 days in the working of becoming authentic. You stumbled on this podcast for a reason. So I'll give you a clue. Why don't you write down what your favorite food is, and look through your closet and think about what your favorite clothes are, and figure out how to increase those things, like, and give yourself permission to self-discover. One of the things that I got trapped in was being what they wanted me to be. I am very empathic, and I took that into the world, and I knew what they wanted me to say. I knew how they wanted me to behave. I knew how they wanted me to act, and I made the money for it. And then I got tired of that. You know, I just got tired. I was just like, I am dying. I wasn't just tired. I was like, I am dying on the inside. I'm losing myself. And that's a story for another podcast. But at the end of the day, it's like, I went through a medical condition that took me down. I was on my deathbed for a long time. It took me out of the whole whatever, and for about 9 months. And I looked really good on paper, and I know how to smile with the best of them, and I know how to do the hellos and gratitudes and everything. But in that 9 months, with nobody to impress except for myself, realized that I'm not happy, and that I felt like I was lost, and I felt like I was losing myself. And after I got back to working in the business field, as a financial blah, 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 I left that and I opened up major consulting doing businesses, Granddaughter Crow. And I have never been so alive. I have never felt so wonderful. And in doing my self-expression, it now it looks great. But you know what it started with? I didn't know how to exit that world and get into this. So it started with how I did my hair and the jewelry that I would wear. So start with your hair and the jewelry you wear. And it will lead you home.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think so often we portray, like you said, what the outside world expects from us, and we hold back on who we are and what we want to wear, or oh, what if I wear that necklace to work? Like for me, I have a corporate job, right? I work in the municipal government, so it's like, oh, I can't wear that because that will freak out my coworkers. Well, so what? That's not my problem, actually. That is their problem. And often what I've found is you put that crystal on and wear it to work, thinking that that's what's going to happen. And then they're like, oh, that's really beautiful. Where did you get that? So it's interesting because we box ourselves into these positions without even really knowing that's what we're doing.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's kind of funny because there are so many hidden people like us. They're just waiting for somebody to bust out a moonstone,
Yeah.
And I do want to also give grace and honor and respect to people who are in situations that self-expression could actually put you in harm's way. My DNA knows that, these ladies' DNA know that, we respect that and we give you honor and gratitude. So, maybe you can't totally break out at work or whatever, but you can at the supermarket. Maybe you can in your broom closet. It's like don't let your spirit die. Keep encouraging it, saying yes and empowering it, and it will lead you home. And the reason why I say that is because I was told a roadmap. I was taught a roadmap in society. This is what a red body woman needs to do, and this is how she can succeed. Oh, there's probably a glass ceiling, but we overlook that because, we don't want to be a mean woman, insert word. And so this is how we behave. And it's just like, and then I was like, I really don't like that compass. When I was down for 9 months, I was like, I don't like that compass. What is this person? Why is society messaging me this? And I was like, ancestors, grandfather, which is why I'm Granddaughter Crow, creator, whatever this is. What didn't you give me like a direction? And slowly but surely, yeah, it wasn't a big, powerful voice that shook me. And slowly but
We wish.
surely, yeah, we wish that'd be a story. But sometimes that happens. But more often than not, it's that still small voice, and it says, "Go take that stone class. Take that astrology class that you've been wanting. Take the Reiki. Take the oil class, or just you don't have to be an herbologist. Just take some. It's not potion. They're teas. Take those classes, and that." Step by step, stone class, astrology class, open mind, actually leads you to your, what I like to say is that curiosity is the internal compass instilled by your creator, whoever that is, as it reveals itself to you in order to lead you home to your destiny, to your authenticity. And never apologize for being authentic, because snowflakes don't apologize. Why should you?
I like that. I'm gonna have to keep that one. And it's true. Like I find for myself and with mom, like we do that. Like we're like, let's go here, let's take this course, let's try this out. And you know what? Some things fit for me that don't fit for her, or vice versa. But you're trying them and you're finding that road to where you want to go. And I found some really magical things by doing that. And, this weekend, like when this airs is later, but this weekend we're actually going away to a wellness retreat where there's a lot of different classes on Kundalini yoga and all these different things of tapping into being authentic. And for myself, I went last year and it's my thing where I feel so empowered when I walk out of there that this year I was like, let's come, you come with me. So exactly what you said, right? Be curious and find these things.
Will lead you home. It will lead you home.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So I think that's a great message that you gave to everyone with that, because I think it is hard for us to find that authenticity in ourselves and, you know, to shrink ourselves down to fit in and not to be. And I think where you said, if somebody you're slaving in the kitchen and you're like, oh, it was nothing, because we're shrinking down by doing that. And we need to be just, being gracious and being grateful and saying, oh, thanks. Yeah, I did work hard, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's almost like give yourself permission to take a compliment. I mean, honestly, how do you feel when you give gratitude to someone and they go, oh, your compliment feels deflated.
Yeah.
So don't deflate other people's compliments. If they see something in you and they're just like, wow, say thank you. That's
Yeah.
that's your assignment. Learn how to say thank you. Learn how to accept a compliment. A lot of times when I was learning how to accept compliments, what I did was I was like, okay, I can accept a compliment if I can also return a compliment. Let's go there. Let's balance out this synergy. And so
Yeah.
when I would receive a compliment, I would do my best, as scary as it is, and as much as we're taught not to in certain circles, especially as a female body. No, that's proud. Just go, okay, I'm going to open up my heart and trust a little bit and receive the compliment, and then turn around and give a genuine compliment back. Because females and others, or, daughters of the moon, we're hidden in all parts of the world. And we recognize when you wear that moonstone or that crystal, and we compliment you on that. And we're looking for this community and everything. And so let's start opening up and just going, wow, thank you so much. Yeah, wow, that potato salad was really difficult. Da, 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 da. By the way, I really appreciate that you're always so gracious and you join us in this gathering, or whatever a genuine thing is. And that is contagious. That's actually contagious. I mean, to be able to go, I'm a snowflake, and this snowflake said that they liked my design. Well, are you kidding? I love their design. And together we cover the earth in this beautiful white dress. And this dress is the dress that changing woman wears. There is a deity in the Navajo Nation, and she is the changing woman. And in the spring, she starts to wear a little bit green of a dress, and her hair flows like rain. And in the summer, she's in full green, flowers in her hair, beautiful smile. In autumn, she changes her dress, and her dress becomes gold and orange and red. And her hair starts coming down. And in the wintertime, she changes her dress to a beautiful white gown. This is changing woman. And although I may be the first Navajo to tell you her name, you have known her your whole life, for she is the natural world, and she is our greatest teacher. And she teaches us how to conduct ourselves in the world without this voice that taught us I am less than, I shouldn't take compliments, this awkwardness. Whenever I hear a compliment or a concept, even in my own mind, I have this thought. It comes in. I don't know if it's programmed, if it's from the divine, if it's from the past. I don't know. I bump it up against the natural world and I'm like, is this a thought that is sustainable in the natural world? The thought of I am not good enough. Well, that's not sustainable in the natural world. The thought of, well, they're better than me. I'm sorry. That's not sustainable in the natural world.
Mhm.
And this thought that, oh, it's cold outside, it's dark. Yeah, that's okay with the natural world. Life is organic, and the natural world teaches us this. Changing Woman is the Navajo name for this organic deity that has lived with you your entire life. And she is continuously giving you permission to be who you are. If you are a tree, be a tree. If you are a rose bush, be a rose bush. If you're a butterfly, be a butterfly. But by God, don't compare yourself with something that you're not, for that will not serve them, nor will it serve you. Always, if you have to compare, because in this dualistic humanization world, we live in a dualistic reality, so we do a lot of comparing. If you compare yourself today with yourself yesterday. Period.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. I think that's a very, very important message for people to, and myself included, is to remember that comparing of, yeah, just bump it up against your own self and see how far you can fly, because I think the more that we trust in our own selves and live in this authentic nature that we are, the more we can fly, and we get our wings, and there's just nothing that can stop us then in whatever it is that we want to accomplish in this world.
Yeah.
Time.
I think too that we have to be playful. We have to remember to bring that playful side of ourselves back, the child that we left behind, so that we keep the playfulness in ourselves. Because when we do that, I find the more playful I am, the more thought I have, creative wise. My creativity hikes up, and I start thinking about all these crazy thoughts sometimes. And and I think, whoa, where'd that come from? But at the same time, it fits good. It feels good in the heart and the soul. So even if I'm the only one that gets a giggle out of it, that's okay too, because I've had a playful moment for myself to just be myself, you know.
Mic drop. That was good.
That was good. Very good. Well, this hour is just flown by. So,
Whatever.
which is amazing, and it's been good. So if you had a final thought to leave with everybody, what would be your final thought to share with them?
Oh, there's so many. Let me say, I think what Barb said, be playful, leads you down the path of curiosity, which leads you down this ability to say yes, which leads you down this enchantment of wearing a moonstone, which leads you home to who you are. And I think that that's good. I mean, be your greatness, be your greatness as only you can be.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
very good. Very nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's a powerful message. So I hope everybody listens to that. Rewind it if you didn't hear it, because that is a very powerful message. So thank you for that. And can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, it's easy. Just remember Granddaughter Crow, not grandmother, Granddaughter Crow. Plug it in to your search engine, www.granddaughtercrow.com. I've got a lot of things going on. I also have a podcast. You can find that on my website. I have some books. I have some coming out at the beginning of 2025. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Yep. It's going to be about the shadow. And so if you want to do some shadow work in an organic way, using the natural world, you might want to check that book out. Um, and then I would say I do one-on-one sessions. I do teach a lot of different classes. I have the Circle on Sundays online. We get together and I basically preach like I just did for the last hour. And but yeah, at the end of the day, um, if what I said spoke something to you, then think about what it said. And don't think about that Granddaughter Crow said it. Think about what it said and what it meant to you. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to gently wake you up to yourself.
Beautiful.
Yep, cool. Very cool.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing space with us. And maybe you can come back after your book is released or before, whichever. We're good. So, but thank you so much for sharing space with us. It was wonderful to have you on, and you're just a wealth of knowledge. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure is. Thank you again. Thank you for me too.
Awesome. Thank you too. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. And everybody else, we'll see you next time.
You betcha we will.